Hey everyone, this is a bit of an audio update or audio version of my review for My Little Pony Friendship is Magic Season 7 episode, for the Season 7 episode Royal Problem, which was the 10th episode of Season 7. The reason this is an audio update is because, well, let's just say I have some views, decent amount of views on my on-camera review for Royal Problem, but there are also some people that are kind of critical. Some people felt that I looked like I just rolled out of bed, I was fumbling around my words, stuff like that, and that's understandable. And you know, I maybe doing it late at night, doing the review late at night wasn't the best idea. So I've decided I'm going to do an audio review to kind of make up for that. So without further ado, here it is. What I said in the video review and what I said in my live streaming MLP discussion video the other day or the other morning, I stand by. I think this is probably the best episode of the season, if not probably one of the best episodes of the series. Because for the past several years, fans have always been wanting something that showcased more of Celestia's personality, showcased more of Luna's personality. Basically, fans have been wanting a Royal Sisters episode for the longest time, but never thought they were going to get it. That is until now. And all I can say is, how do I do this? All I could say is that. Kind of clap my hands a little bit like, hold on. Oh. All I could say is this, if I can find a good area to do this. All I could say is this, folks. That's all I and a lot of people could really say, because, you know, we wanted a Royal Sisters episode, we got it, and it delivered. It delivered beyond anybody's expectations. You know, we expected to see more personality-wise and character development-wise out of the sisters. We didn't expect to get what we did. We didn't. We didn't expect to get what we did. And it really, like I said, it went beyond any expectations. I mean, first and foremost, we have gotten more between the sisters when it came to the IDW comics. There's no doubt about that. We've gotten more when it's come to the IDW comics. Between the main series and the spin-off series, we've gotten more between the sisters. But we've never gotten anything when it came to the show until now. And I have to say this, Christine and Joanne, the lady writers as they're known on Twitter, must have read the comics to get some inspiration, because, man, did they allow Nicole Oliver, Tabitha St. Germain, and to really run with this episode when it came to the characters. I mean, here's the thing. We got an idea. We kind of got an idea of what we would get out of Celestia at the beginning of the season with Celestial Advice. We got that idea. That idea being that there is more to her than we've seen previously. And for years, we've been getting hints that there was more to her, that there was more to the relationship between her and Luna. We always kept getting these hints and little nods and Easter eggs, if you will, of there being something more. I mean, heck, Slice of Life kind of gave us a bit of a tease with the little confrontation between the sisters over basically forgetting a wedding gift for Matilda and Cranky's wedding. basically having a bit of a confrontation over who was supposed to remember. Hold on for a sec. Sorry for the interruption, but like I said, we got a taste of what we were going to get here in Slice of Life. But even that taste was just a bit of an appetizer. It's like when you go to a restaurant and you're waiting for your food, you're waiting to order your food, you're looking at the menu, and and the one thing they give you to start you off is a loaf of bread, is a French bread or something. Whatever they start you off, that's kind of free, which is like the French bread, the water, stuff like that. So that's basically what it was like with Slice of Life. Like when they come out and say, here's some, rolls or something like that to start you off while you order your meal. So that was kind of like that. And then Celestial Advice at the beginning of the season was like the appetizer. It's like you order the appetizer and here it comes. But this was the full course meal. Royal Problem was the full course meal. And all I have to say is it was worth every. Basically, it's like when you get a full course meal and you eat it and it's good, it was worth every bite. Let's put it that way. I know that sounds weird, but it was. I mean, the fact that Nicole Oliver got nominated for an award for Best Voice Acting when it came to this episode is saying something. And again, not taking anything away from Tabitha St. Germain. She really brought it as well as Luna. I mean, anytime Tabitha is portrayed as Luna in an episode that centers around her or focuses on her in some way, she brings it. And she brought it, once again, if not more so, here in Royal Problem. I mean, you could just tell Nicole Oliver was just probably waiting for this moment. The moment where she could just let loose as Celestia. And boy, did she ever revel in it. Because the moment that Starlight Glimmer finally reveals that she comes out and says she's figured out what the friendship problem is why she was sent there. Basically the moment where Starlight comes out and says she's figured out, she comes out and tells the sisters she's found out, she's discovered the reason she was sent there. She's found the friendship problem she was sent there to solve. You could tell Nicole Oliver was just waiting patiently for that moment. Because here you have Celestia being her usual, that's nice to hear, Starlight. What is it? What did you find out? What did you figure out? What is it? And then next thing you know, you go from that to when Starlight points out, it's you two. Basically points out, just tells them straight out, it's you two. You go from that, that's nice, Starlight. What is it? Coming from Celestia to the, excuse me, we're coming out of her next. I mean, literally, it's like that. I think one of the people that was part of the Bronies React video to the episode said it best. Her change in tone is what made it priceless. The fact that you go from that sweet, usual Celestial tone to, excuse me, girl, what'd you just say? Is amazing. Just amazing. And the fact that, again, you could just tell, even though you couldn't see her doing it, you could just tell Nicole Oliver was waiting for that moment to say that line and to say it in the tone that she did. It was worth it. It was worth it to her. And then the ball just gets rolling from there because Starlight, she basically says, look, you wanted me to tell, basically Starlight saying, hey, look, I noticed what's going on here. I noticed what's been going on. Maybe you guys should just explain and tell each other how you feel about why the other is unintentionally hurting your feelings. And that proposal escalates from there because, yeah, they kind of escalates from there because just when Starlight thinks, she's going to probably see what she hopes to see, she sees more than what she expects because Luna basically says, look, I am sorry that I don't appreciate that I sometimes don't appreciate that you put little fruit faces on pancakes, but I'm half awake when I come in from my job, from doing what I do. And it just goes from there because then Celestia is like, oh, you don't think I get tired? And it just, again, escalates. And you could tell Nicole Oliver and Tabitha St. Germain were having a ball with this. Because you have Celestia basically saying, hey, look, going like, oh yeah, I'm sorry too for not noticing little lavender flowers on the wall, but when I'm done for the day, I'm half awake. My eyes are barely opened. I can barely see straight. And then she tops that off by saying, but at least what did she say? What did she say? She said something along the lines of, but at least I make an effort to smile, even towards the end of the day, where she basically says, "Hey, I can barely see at the end of the day. I'm half asleep when I get ready to retire for the night. But still, even in that condition, I make an effort to smile. I make an effort. I make an effort to look pleasing, to look pleasant looking and all that." And again, it just escalates from there because then Luna's like, Luna counters that with what she says. That's by saying, oh yeah, like smiling is so hard and oh, your job is just to be adored and all that. And then Celestia coming back and saying, oh, all you do is just go around flitzing around in the dream, flitzing around giving little pony sweet little dreams. That sounds just awful. And it's like, holy smokes. I think, to paraphrase something that Corey Graves said during this year's Rumble match, during this year's Royal Rumble, and most specifically during the Women's Royal Rumble. There's a moment in the Women's Royal Rumble where it's just Lana, Sonya Deville, and Liv Morgan. And Lana just stands up. She just gets up. It's like she's just had enough. She ends up slapping Sonya Deville, knocking her down. And then she tackles Liv Morgan. And Michael Cole basically says, Lana's fired. And Michael Cole mentions that Lana's fired up. And Corey Graves follows that up by saying, where did this come from? It's like he can't believe this is coming out of Lana. And that's basically what you got here with Celestia and Luna. Most importantly, Celestia and her snarkiness, her, God forgive me for saying this, God, Lord, forgive me for saying this, her bitchiness, if you will, coming out. It's like, whoa, where did this come from? So, yeah, it was, I'll say this, just waiting for this episode, just waiting for that moment, specifically when it came to the characters. When it came to the characters, was worth it, because it was the development a lot of fans were hoping to see. It was the development, the moment fans have been waiting to see. And it was worth it. It was well worth it. And I just love the reaction. And here's the thing. I love the reaction after Starlight ends up switching to cutie marks. I mean, here's Starlight. She's trying to play peacekeeper. And they're just going back and forth to the point that Starlight's like, enough. I've had it. It's like, enough. And all of a sudden, by doing so, she activates this spell that switches to cutie marks. And by switching to cutie marks, she basically says, there, now you have an opportunity to know what it's like to be each other. Because, here's their chance. I mean, even Starlight says that. She says, look, you guys basically both said each other's job is harder than the other. or is easier than what they do, here's your chance to prove it. And I love Celestia's reaction too. She's shocked at what Starlight's done. And then when Starlight basically tells Luna that she can't reverse the spell even if she can because it's 24 hours, Celestia's reaction is like, what? It's just, I can't say any more than what I've already said before and what others have said. It's just, you have to see the episode to appreciate what comes out of it. And yes, you kind of get a Freaky Friday-like situation to where both princesses are doing the other's job to try to prove it's easier than what they do. Kind of prove that it's easier than what they do. Only to be proven wrong, because here you have Luna trying to do Celestia's job and give her credit. She's trying and trying, but she ends up having a few hiccups here and there. Like when she takes one last photo for the day, she ends up frowning. Basically, it's like she's smiling all day. She's smiling all day, and as soon as she takes that photo over at the school, I guess you could say, to try to help raise funds for a field trip, she ends up just dropping the smile and frowning and scowling or something like that. And she even says, look, I've been smiling most of the day. I couldn't help, my cheekbones hurt. I couldn't help it. And then she reads, and because of that, she reads that the school didn't get enough funds for the Phillies to go on the field trip, and that makes her feel bad, to the point that even when she has to address some townsfolk or whatever about a wolf problem, she has to use her regal Luna voice, which a lot of people were happy to hear once again, to kind of say, oh, there's no wolves, whatever. And then she has to go from there to a meeting between some mayors from different cities, and that's how she ends her day, because basically she is exhausted from doing all this, and it's through that exhaustion, as she's going to lie down, that I think she comes to realize, my sister doesn't have it easy. But she doesn't admit that until later. And then in comes Celestia, because it's Celestia's turn. Celestia ends up taking on Luna's job, and she kind of gets a chuckle at the fact that compared to her list, Luna's is small. But she finds out even though Luna's list is smaller, it's just as hard, if not harder, to do her job, because Luna doesn't just have to, protect, because Luna doesn't just have to protect the dream realm and protect ponies in their dreams or give them sweet dreams and all that. Or, like I said, rescue ponies from their dreams or nightmares, if you will. But she has to do more when it comes to that. She has to basically fend off any kind of nightmare or monstrous nightmare that might affect a pony's dream or psyche. So basically, Celestia realizes that in the end, her sister's job isn't as easy as she thought, especially when she's there for Starlight. Starlight has a nightmare. With Starlight's nightmare is basically everything that's culminated throughout her stay there because of her friendship mission. It's everything, just finally coming to fruition in her nightmare. And through her nightmare, we see basically the return of Nightmare Moon and the debut of Celestia's evil alter ego, Daybreaker. And what's funny is, it's basically, this is what Starlight fears would happen if the sisters don't reconcile, don't kind of understand that, hey, it may look like you have an easy job, but in reality you don't, and I should appreciate that. I should respect that. Know that I should at least show some appreciation, patience. Maybe I should let like with Celestia, I think in a sense she's realizing, look, you do, because here's the thing. Starlight's nightmare is basically what brought them together, kind of helped them reconcile, because it's like the nightmare kind of woke them up, if you will. Because this is where basically they both realize that each other's job's not as easy as they thought. And that there's so much more to it. I mean, Luna even admits that, look, what you do, it was a lot harder than I thought. And Celestia admits the same thing. And it's just, again, I can't say any more about this episode that anybody else hasn't said already, because it's that good, and these moments are so good. I mean, Starlight's nightmare about potentially what could happen. Even Celestia says that this is Starlight's nightmare of what could happen if they don't reconcile, if they don't stop fighting each other and kind of appreciate more of what the other does. And just, again, I can't say any more words than what I've said and others have said before. It's just a moment like that is done so very well, because both realize, like I said, that the other's job is harder than they thought it was, that it's not easy, that Luna realizes that when Celestia smiles and waves and is adorned by the public, that it's not easy for her to keep that up all the time. That in reality, she wants to kind of let loose, let her guard down a little bit and be real. And Celestia realizes that even though Luna may have what looks like an easy job, just roaming around the dream realm and, helping ponies with their nightmares and giving them, help them protect the nightmares and giving them the sweet little dreams in return, it's not as easy as she thought, because sometimes she has to confront said dream as well, or said nightmare as well. Like with Daybreaker, she had to confront Daybreaker. She had to basically tell her, no, I am never going to become what you are. And in the end, she basically says, you're never going to exist again, in ever, real or not. So, in the end, the episode did what it had to do, story-wise and character development-wise, and it was worth it. It really was. And for those that were wondering why Starlight was the one that was sent to solve this problem between the royal sisters, it's like both Celestia and Luna say at the end. Starlight, at most times, will go with her gut. She'll go with her gut feeling, go with the gut feeling that she has, and she'll roll with it for a while. She'll roll with it to see if maybe that gut feeling she has is the correct one. But, as Luna says, no pony would have been as bold as Starlight to do what she did by switching the princess's cutie marks and powers for the day to see what it's like for them to walk in each other's hooves. So yeah, some people, again, there are a lot of fans that may not be particularly fond of Starlight, but one thing about Starlight that I think's making fans start to like her, like they started to like Sunset Shimmer when it came to Rainbow Rocks and even afterwards, is the fact that Starlight is bold. Just like Luna says, she's bold, and she's not afraid to say it like it is. She's basically a straightforward character. She's not afraid to say it like it is. She's not afraid to, do what, sometimes take drastic, if not extreme measures to maybe see what the end result will be. And I know a lot of fans may not agree with that, but in reality, who else were you going to send? Were you going to send Spike? Were you going to send a Rarity, Rainbow Dash, Applejack, Fluttershy, Pinky? No. Were you going to send Twilight? Heck no. Basically the cutie map, whether it's alive or it isn't, or whatever kind of magic it has, knows what ponies are best for what jobs. And the cutie map basically says that, hey, the pony that's probably most suited to do this friendship problem, to solve this friendship problem with the Royal Sisters, is Starlight, because she's not afraid to do what she's done, to do certain things, to go with her gut feeling, to be bold, to come out and be just straightforward and shoot and tell certain ponies like the Royal Sisters what the problem is, or how they see certain things. And that's basically what Starlight is in a nutshell. She's that kind of character that will come out and, just say what it, call it like it is. She'll call it like it is. She will not be, she won't be so adverse to it, if you know what I mean. Well, not adverse, but she won't be so, how do I put this? She won't be so, what's the word? She won't be like Twilight in a sense. She won't try to cover up, how she truly feels about something. She'll just come out and say it. And that's the truth. She'll come out and say it, and that's exactly what she did here. And that's why in story sense, the cutie map, the friendship map, chose her to go solve the problem with Celestia and Luna. And of course, speaking of Twilight, this is one of those moments that a lot of people like about it, because Twilight basically is in freak out mode almost from the beginning. I mean, basically the episode starts off with her noticing Starlight's cutie mark floating around the royal palace on the friendship map, on the cutie map, because it shows that that's where the map's sending her for the friendship mission. And Twilight's reaction was like, it's like she can't believe it. She's like, she knew it. I mean, come on, let's be honest. She probably knew eventually Starlight would be called, but she didn't expect it to be in this manner. And then her reactions throughout, as she's just checking in on Starlight, by, I guess, projecting her essence or her whatever, her essence, her soul or whatever, just projecting her image into a ballerina jewelry box or whatever, is it's just great. I mean, the moments that she gets, like when Starlight basically confirms that she's going to confront the sisters about the problem because she's noticing what's going on, and Twilight's reaction is like, "Are you out of your mind?" And also when she calls out Twilight by being a little biased towards Celestia, when Twilight says it's sweet about Celestia making pancakes for Luna. And then the last time we see her before she makes an appearance at the end is her hyperventilating when she finds out from Starlight what Starlight did with the switching of the cutie marks. And then her reactions at the end when she shows up in the flesh, trying to make up an excuse like, "Oh, I was just going to bring you your toothbrush and everything, but I'm proud of you and everything. Oh, and don't tell me." Basically, she just goes completely nuts, if you will, because she's proud about Starlight, completing her mission. But then she's like just freaking out, going crazy, saying, "I'm so proud of you. Tell me everything, and don't tell you about any details." And she just drags Starlight with her into the palace. It's like, okay, Twilight. I think you should come out and admit that maybe you were a little worried about this from the beginning. I'm just saying that. And here's the thing: Starlight's reaction when Twilight's dragging her off to have Starlight explain everything to her. Starlight's like, it's not a help me look. It's more like, is Twilight seriously trying to kid me about not spying on me or not watching me and stuff like that? It's like Starlight's not buying, Twilight being there just trying to bring the toothbrush and everything. It's more like, seriously, Twilight. It's like, seriously, Twilight, I know why you were really here. You were hiding somewhere. But anyway, I know this has been going on long, so I do apologize. I'll probably put a disclaimer in the description saying how long to take your time listening to this. But overall, I can't say any more than what I've already said in this audio video, in my on-screen review, and what others have said in their reviews, text or on camera or whatever, this episode was great. It was just tremendous. And if you have any, and if you still have any inkling, any kind of any like, I'm not too sure, should I, whatever, to check out MLP, My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, go to Netflix. Go, if you have Netflix, go to Netflix. Go to Netflix streaming. Choose My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. Go to season 7. Choose episode 10. And this episode will definitely make you consider at least giving the final 2 seasons, as it's being put, a chance, and then maybe binge watching the seasons before. So I would recommend checking this out if you want to try to at least, and it's surprising to say this, finally give My Little Pony Friendship and Magic a chance. So overall, my ratings for this are 5 stars and 10 out of 10. That's all I can really say on it. Let me know what you guys think down below. Again, I will mention in the description box that this is going to be long, so take your time with it. But anyway, that's all I'm going to say on it, folks. Let me know what you all think down below. Comment if you like, and I'll talk to y'all later.